Hello, here's my vlog for June 15th, Sunday, 8:29. I've been up for 62 and a half hours because I got a job as a caretaker over at that building. Yeah, I had like a half hour off. And so I just walked here and slept for like 20 minutes. Or laid down for 20 minutes. Yeah, so I did, I stopped video logging. And I have a couple of vlogs that for some reason I was too lazy or I forgot to upload. So I'll have to upload them with this. I was doing the training for the mountain bike guide, but that was for like a week or something. But then they didn't want me in the end. It was more like tryouts. So I waited. That was like Friday or something. So I waited until Tuesday. It was some like holiday. And then I called Brookdale. And yeah, luckily they had a position. And so I was jazzed. It's going to be perfect to work on my website at night. And also during the day when they're just hanging out and I'm here hanging out. It's a perfect job to just whip out the computer and yeah, get going. I was looking at the site last night because if I'd have done the mountain biking, I wouldn't have done anything with the rest of my like website and the show. But I opened up for the first time. I opened up Dreamweaver for the first time in like months, and losing my train of thought. Maybe that's good because I'm tired. But yeah, for the first time in a long time, I opened up Dreamweaver to try to do this Dreamweaver thing. But I've been trying to do the menus of all the books. But I wanted to start with Xenophon, Education of Cyrus, because alphabetically it's the first one, and I was like I really wanted to put the menu of that up, because the only one that I've done so far is Livy, and I wanted to just get going on putting them all up, because it's been a while. This is like last summer. God, I've been trying to get back in shape since then. That's crazy. I put the website on the back burner. But yeah, it wouldn't go. Like there was this problem, and that I couldn't even understand. It was built by ChatGTP, like the actual table was, with and it built in the background colors and everything. Hello, rascal. And yeah, like it wouldn't, when I would look at the page, nothing would appear. It was like, what was I saying again? It was just like a couple of words or something, and yeah. And that was kind of like one of the reasons I quit back in like last summer or something. I can look on my vlog when I was working on all that, making the menus. Because I had ChatGTP condense the books down to menus, and then condense them down a bunch of times. And then, like, the Mahabharata has 6 different sizes, and a lot of them have 2. And, like, a couple have 3. But then build the menus with the menu colors and everything. Oh, and the fonts. For the, like, I think, yeah, making the year bold and the font for the title and everything. And, Yeah, but it didn't look right. So I was like, and then I tried it again, like last month or 2 months ago, and it still didn't work. And so I was thinking maybe if I just wait and it'll correct itself. Maybe it was just like a faulty, whatchamacallit, faulty, like yeah, some kind of thing, faulty like update or something. And then they'll do another update that'll make it easier. And so anyway, last night I tried it and it worked. Like it apparently it worked because I made a copy of the book and then I copied the menu onto it. And then I looked at it and it looked good. And so, like, that's the farthest I've come on that book. And I've tried that same book so many times, like, well, twice, but I was trying it for like a while. And yeah, so apparently now it works. So that's like the thing I really want to do is put the menus on all of the books. It's going to make those books like 10 times more interesting when you have the menu. Because, like, you can listen to it on the cell phone real easily. It's not that long, they're smaller. And so you can, hold your train of thought as you listen to it from the cell phone. Because, like, if you listen to something on the cell phone and then you hit this button, then it'll stop reading. It's kind of like a problem that it has. Like, I think, like a design flaw. But, because if you could, like, turn the phone off and listen to it like an MP3, like, oh my god. And then, like, pause it, because you can pause it. First you couldn't, but now you can. So that's cool, but... because, like, it's... Because it... I guess, because you would only have to... I guess you could listen to it with, like, a... like, if you get a booklet for these. Like, a little thing that flips around and covers the top. Because if you listen to a cell phone with the screen open like this, like, in your pocket, it'll think it's getting tapped. And I don't know how long that'll go. I don't have that many memories of that happening, because also it sucks away all the juice on the battery. And so, yeah, I should probably see if there's like a new like auxiliary battery for that, and then get in the habit of listening to books on my cell phone. And yeah, and buy like a little book for it. Yeah, because the one that I have, like, you have to keep hitting the button. And now that I have money, I can start buying stuff. So yeah, I've been working my ass off, like, because two people want me to do gardening at the same exact time, and I'm like, jazzed to do gardening. I mean, I probably shouldn't be. Probably shouldn't be. I don't know why I accepted. Yeah, because I would have taken gardening jobs, any other year, and then all of a sudden I get like 2 gardening jobs at the same time right when I start a job. So, but whatever. Yeah, I like fit it in between like my day instead of sleeping. I just went out and gardened twice at 2 different places for like 2 hours each. But like in this sun and like me, because I'm not in that great of shape, my back was hurting. I don't know. I could probably only garden at like super speed for like 4 hours max. Because yeah, my back was hurting. So I went in and got a gym membership today for a year. It was like $300. It was like $250 plus $50 of annual fee. So I'm super excited to start going back there again. I kind of got like I called and then I didn't get the job right away, so like a week went by between when I did the training and then got the job, or more. And so I didn't really have the motivation to do anything. I felt spooked about like riding my bike or doing anything that might cost money. So I was just like looking for a bunch of jobs too, and then while I was waiting on this one, But so I didn't really have the motivation to do anything. I was just kind of hanging out with my animals. I don't want my animals to die. I'm trying to like figure out the routine of the animals, like what they look like, if they're gaining, losing weight, if they're still alive, how quickly they eat their food, how quickly their food disappears. I'm just like what they like to eat. I want to be able to raise these successfully. I have so many freaking animals, and when I give a show of my animals, I hope too many people don't think that I'm like, it seems like cruel. I'm going for like a jungle effect, and now that I have money, I'm gonna go out and as soon as I have time, I'm gonna go out and um, try to buy. Oh man, I'm falling off this couch. Try to buy plants for every single one of my plant holders. I have that and that's been around. So get a plant like that, and I can't remember what that is. I'm gonna take a photo of it. Go to the store. Or a plant like that. Or that. That one's getting wilted though. This summer, I think I need to start learning to wet more. But that. But those were like $5 each, and I went and got a bunch of plants. Those are like 3 or 4 years old. In Longmont, like $100. The day that they let me go, and so I didn't get all of the like $5 plants. I only got one of them. That one up there. But now that I have a job, I think I'm gonna go and just blow money. I haven't since I haven't like topped off the house yet, where every single like animal is here and all of its cages, and I don't have any room for any more animals. Or with the plants, it'll be a while since I do it until I do it with the animals. But yeah, but I've never done it with the plants, and to have like all these plants alive is going to be really cool. My birds don't bother the live plants for some reason. They only bother the dry ones that just have dirt. They'd like to chew all the like the dead leaves and then dig up all the dirt with their beaks. So, oh, I lost 2 birds though. Those are the only 2 birds that I have. I think those are the old ones. My mom, I feel like an idiot. So last Sunday, I guess it was like a week ago already. It was the huge solar storm, and she was over here like hanging out with me. I think helped me clean, and we're having a meal, and the birds were like chirping really loud. They didn't stop chirping, and they're flying back and forth like constantly, and yeah, even more than normal. And 4 is a good number of parakeets to have because they get really lively. But like the door was totally open, and I had the little gate down there for the so the ferrets couldn't get out. But my mom was saying that close the gate, close the door, because the birds are gonna get out. And I was like, oh, they haven't escaped yet. And once I saw one crash into the window though, and she's like, do it because they're freaking out. And I didn't do it. And yeah, the next day there were 2 of them that were missing. So they just flew right out the door. So yeah, so now I know that can happen. I was like, damn, I need to fix that that screen. So when I bought this screen, I didn't put the little latch because it was before I got the ferrets, and then the ferrets started opening it. So then I realized I had to do it. So I had these hooks already and the zip ties, and so I drilled the holes, and that's how the ferrets can't open that, and I can keep the birds in. So yeah, now that have money, making money, they're $40 each. Get like 2 more of those, and and then I'll be at 4, and then oh, there's a leaf in the neighborhood. That's the leaf. Maybe I'll get 6, because 4 was a lot of fun. 4 is a blast. I mean, this is boring as hell, what I've had. Those little guys must be like depressed or something, because normally when I talk, they try to out squawk me, and then they just start flying and they do flybys. It was awesome. And so the more birds I have, like the more bold they'll be, the more like they'll feel like this is their house, and that would be cool. So I think, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Go for 6 of them. Now that I'm more serious about keeping them in. Before I wanted to put chicken wire around the deck, so I'll think about that. But so since the last time I did a video, I did come up with some more ideas for my show. So I was like, I was actually, one of the reasons was I was kind of like thinking about money, and like if I wanted to make money. So I was like, I bet you my show would be would make money, would be a hit, Boulder Run. And yeah, I was trying to figure it out, come up with a plan, and because I wanted to do it just as soon as I like get caught up with my life, and so it's like, so it's the retelling of Rome from 753 BC. But I think I'm doing it. I'm doing it off of Livy. I want to do it off of Livy. So I want to do it from the beginning of Rome, because Livy starts at the beginning of when Aeneas lands in Rome, and I mean that was like, that's not even like, like mythology. Like that was just as much history as Romulus, because they had a whole king's list from when Aeneas landed in Italy all the way down to the founding of Rome, like to account for that whole time, like 400 years or something. So, and I think they had enough like detail to explain the growth of Latinium. That's the like the nation of the Latins that as like their population grew since Aeneas came. They all had like a similar origin story, which is interesting. It's an area about as big as Boulder County, and like the same number of city states as independent city states as mining towns in Boulder County, and the same size. So yeah, so you can just, it's like magically aligned. And so my story is where you superimpose them. You show Boulder, but then the history of Boulder, because I Google Earth that too. And I can do prehistory because I did nature. I Googled Earth to nature on top of Boulder. I need to YouTube all that stuff. But so the story is like, I'm retelling the history of Rome through the eyes of like the dude with like the magic ring. That was the idea that I came up with originally. Actually, a long time ago. But like, it makes him so he's like he lives forever, and so I need to do this show where it goes forward in time, where he has visions forward in time, because I want to show that, in the Google Earth in the show, and also backward in time. So you're going forward, backward, and then also all over the world. So like, well, not all over the world. Maybe I should do all over the world. Kind of throw that in too. Huh. Like whenever something's a similar size, yeah. But anyway, yeah, just between Rome and Boulder. And so, yeah, the story was that like the dude like, and it's like a comedy. Like, if I could do this, that would be the most amazing way, the most amazing job, is to have like that's the ultimate artist, the perfect artist, like where you're dancer, singer, musician, filmmaker, cinema photographer, like a documentarian, but mainly a drama TV show producer, an actor, and then did I say dance? That's like 8 different things, and also narrator, 9, because I'll narrate the book, and it's like 3,000 pages, and so I'll do separate like videos where it's just me reading it. for like audiobook format. Yeah, that'd be cool to read like the entirety of Livy. So, but also, yeah, so it's like, so if I'm like the main character in the show, I thought, and it's also a comedy, so it's like 10 things. I'm a comedian. Because whenever anything is happening, like in the show, when I'm retelling it, so I'm one of the main characters because I'm like Romulus's best buddy, and or whoever the leader is. I'm the leader's best buddy all the time. And so like I would be I'm the Pontifex Maximus. Um, because in Livy they never really, I don't think they explain who the Pontifex Maximus is. So then I can insert myself as Pontifex Maximus. That's like what that was like the Rome when it first started. It was known as a warrior city, but also a spiritual city. They did a really good job of balancing the two because for their first four kings, it was like Romulus was a warrior king, but then Numa was a peace king. He set up the Temple of Janus, Temple of Peace, where they close it whenever there's peace. And it was like an eternal fire, I think. But anyway, and then the third guy, Hostilus, was the warrior king, and then the fourth guy was I can't remember the fourth king of Rome's name. But he was like the spiritual king, and so also it was really well balanced in terms of like the three forms of government: kingdom, aristocracy, and democracy. But yeah, so I get to play me, and I'm the guy who like suggests stuff and kind of steers it to make it convenient to compare it to Boulder and stuff, and explain it. But I also like in part of my advice, because I'm like the advisor, the spiritual advisor to whoever the leader is. And part of my wisdom comes from these like trips that I have, and so I'm known as the seer. I saw this show like on Netflix about the King Henry the like 14th, 12th or something of France, the husband of Queen Anne, who got, I don't know, Queen Mary of Scots, who got her head cut off by Elizabeth II, Elizabeth I. He died like in an accident, but they had I liked it. It was like a musical. It's like cheesy, but we liked it. But anyway, oh no, I lost my train of thought. Oh no, I must be tired. Anyway, oh yeah, that guy was named the Seer, like the brother. It's probably wasn't really like that, but the brother, he was like a spiritual guy with visions, and he was this, like they called him a seer. And so I like being called a seer in Rome because, like, when I'm seeing into the future and the past, and also Boulder Rome, like parallel universe, and I do two Boulder versions, or maybe four. I do the two Boulders, Boulder and Boulder Rome, and then current Rome and past Rome. And so whenever like anybody else is talking, I'm there, and I'll use like Premiere to put myself in. That's probably pretty easy to do. I've never done it, but where I put as many of myself in there, doing their thing. And so I'm standing next to Romulus, and he's talking to me. And whenever anybody who's talking to different people, I'm like there in the background. And I'm like this, doing like this all the time. Whoa. Because I'm like amazed. I'm like having my trip. Like that's when I'm like, and then I show. It's like, and then it shows that. And so I superimpose them all the time. I haven't decided how much, but So yeah, and then I like snap out of it, and then I'm like, you wouldn't believe what I said, what I saw, and then maybe I'll describe it a little bit, but but when I do like the visions, oh, and also I'm also called a seer because when I do the show, I want to like ride a lot. Like I need to get in shape. I'm like my back was so freaking weak, and my shoulder, and oh my god, I'm like aging, and my knees starting to hurt from lack of exercise, and so I want to ride all the time. And so I'm like also the scout. I play the part of like the spiritual, the Pontifex Maximus, but also like the main scout. And so the leader is always sending me off to check on like I guess collect taxes and check on all of the different people within the kingdom. And and so when I come back, I'm like, I'll do YouTube videos or include in the YouTube video all the different like all of the with Strava all the rides I go on. But yeah, so I'm like the scout. I'm the seer. I'm sent out to see how the kingdom's going, but I also see this parallel, the sister city of Rome called Boulder Rome, or like the dream world of it. Like when I have dreams of like places that exist, but they're always bigger in my dream. It's like different. Things are different. Like I've had a bunch of dreams of Boulder, and I had one that was really big, and but I also have one that I remember that like the Flatirons were like where um, Flagstaff is, like Flagstaff Mountain, the eastern side of it, and they were all like vertical and like square and like yeah, but like lined with trees, and you could like climb up them like on the trees and stuff, and they were like right next to the neighborhood. But anyway, so kind of like that, like a dream, and because in Livy and in historical books in general, like dreams play a huge part, and visions too. So this like is super consistent. Is that my lizard? I should film it. Yeah, super consistent with history and historians, as if I include a lot of dreams and visions, and then I can do it for the future too, which will make it super interesting, like the vision of how I think the future should be. So, because if I'm doing visions of the future, in the past, because I know what their future is because it's my past, then I should go ahead and just do future myself too, and the future Boulder Room. But so when I go forward and backward in time, I wanted to have like a different tools to illustrate travel through time, like what time means. I wanted to do it for space and time, and the way that I'm doing with space is by doing Boulder Rome. If you have Rome on top of Boulder, then you live in Rome. You've got your analogy right there. You can learn Rome, which, and I guess why that's important. That's an important facet of learning history. I guess is another video. I'm rambling on too long for this one, but that's pretty. I'm excited about that. And then I have the connection with time and space with the bike racing and all the different sports with the times and the making categories of them. But there's different ways to illustrate the passage of time. On my timeline, I have these windows that you click and they open up on different windows. That's the forward and backward arrow that you see at the top middle of my timelines. And they illustrate, if you superimpose them completely on the screen, they illustrate the 5 centuries taking up the screen. And so if you just want to focus on one century or one 10-year period of time, you just drag both sides of it to cover up what's on that timeline, and you're only looking at that page, the middle, the small part of history of that country. And these covers are the time maps that show generally like what the passage of time is with various examples. And I think so far the only ones that I have are so the generations, Strouts and Howe book, where every generation is like 20 to 25 years. Bashar the Alien says 40 years. That's why Moses was in the jungle for 40 years. Is double is like enough time to refresh your society like completely, because like people would be in totally different stages of life. So I guess that's kind of like a double generation. But with Strouts and Howe, it's like goes from like usually like 30, yeah, it's like 20 to 40 or something. But so I have those, and then showing all the different generations going back from now down to like 500 years ago. And also with the Seculum. And the cool thing about that is that the Romans believed in the Seculum. That's, and I'm going to look out for it on Livy, because I heard, unlike Edward Gibbon, that when they had the first Pontifex Maximus, or they had the first augurs, the reason that Romulus saw the 12 vultures, because like Remus saw like 6, but Romulus saw like 12, and they couldn't decide who was going to be the leader, because even though Remus got less, his birds were bigger. But the 12 birds, sparrows that Romulus saw, were supposed to signify how long Rome was going to live, and Rome lived that long. Like, they got it right. Because 1,000 years after the founding of Rome in 753 was 247, and that's they did have the party. They had the 1,000-year party. That was still when the Roman Empire existed. It still had like 200 more years left. But yeah, so they thought it was going to be 1,200 years. So 1,200 years after that was 447, which was smack dab in the fall of Rome. The Ostrogoths invaded in 410, and the official fall of Rome with the abdication of where the Italian Goths officially took over Italy and kicked out the last emperor was 477, 476. So like smack dab in the middle of those, like they got it right. So yeah, that's why I want to like find if it's actually written in one of the history books, or if Livy said that, that'd be amazing. But so yeah, they had the power. They had these festivals every 100 years, 100 years, because that was like how long the oldest person could live. And so you 100%, like there's nobody alive now that was alive then. And there's just a way that they interpreted it, the passage of time. And so it's just cool to know that they did that, and then I'm doing it too the same way with my timeline every 100 years, and then the generations and everything. And every time he talks about, or the ancient writers talk about different generations, because they do, I need to actually use that to make the generations on my timeline. I think I tried to do it once with ChatGTP, and it did an abysmal job. I had ChatGTP predict the future, every like exponentially is going out in the future, but like starting with like every decade for the next until like 2,500 or something, and then like every 100 years for the next 1,000 years or something. Yeah, so it was a bunch, and I did it completely unsupervised without any prompting, and yeah, it got pretty watered down and like boring and repetitive after a while. But I'm gonna paste it on anyway. They're just talking about festivals of like intergalactic unity and stuff over and over again. But yeah, so if you see one of these YouTube videos where like ChatGTP predicted the future, and oh my god, you don't know what they'll say. No, it doesn't predict shit unless you tell it what to say. So yeah, so I'll have to do the I should maybe have it like coach me. That'd be fun. Yeah, I'm gonna create the I'm getting kind of sidetracked. I'm going to create all the different generations in Rome. Oh no, I'm not getting sidetracked because that's part of Boulder Rome, dude. Like, if I'm going to do this, there's kind of like a bit of preparatory work to do. That's the thing. Like, I can't rush myself because I do have to tie up the loose ends on a lot of things in my website. Just center them around Rome. So I have to do, yeah, all the different generations from the Kingdom of Rome and the what's it called, the Republic of Rome, and yeah, and then the Empire and all that. Um, yeah, I'm gonna build the all of the generations from present all the way down to the founding of Rome, to the beginning of the Trojan War. So, because the fall of Rome isn't that long after when Strauss gave up and like stopped doing it in like 1500, 1438, like the Glorious Generation or something. Um, yeah, so just there's enough history to be able to build it all the way back. But anyway, that's not on those plugs that I have. I also want to have to do other things, and I don't think I have any other thing there yet. But I wanted to make it like pretty comprehensive, and so I have for uh, the different generations as one, and it doesn't have to take that much space. Like it's just one. Well, if you do it with the generations and seculums, yeah, it's just 2 lines, and you have the whole screen. So um, there's that, but then there's also the growth of silt deposits from rivers. Like the port of Ostia was on the sea back in the Roman Empire, and now it's like a mile or more inland. It looks like a big inland lake. That was their port, and it's just the silt from the river in 2,000 years. Like they would have dredged that up and kept it clear if they hadn't have fallen. But also, how fast Turkey, Epirus, I think, yeah, it was Epirus, Ephesus. Ephesus is now like a mile inland, and that used to be a port city. And so how fast this stuff grows, and so also how fast Kuwait and Iraq from the two rivers grows it, because which cities were port cities then as well, and how fast it grows just from the scientists. So I Google Earthed all that. I Google Earthed the like the different growth of time on Turkey and as well as Iraq, and I did Iraq very long and very gradually. I think I have like 100 different Google Earths of it. Like I could make a movie of it from 100 growing out. It was like 100 feet every 100 years or something. It's gone through a lot of changes. It's dried up a lot just in this last generation too. They used to have a bunch of boat people and islands out there, but then the dam. It's not just a desert. It's too bad. Like the Ariel Sea dried up mostly, and Lake Chad, and anyway. But so I could include that in it. I could include that for Ostia. And also accents. Grimm's law shows how different consonants and vowels change over time, and like my dad was born in 1928, and he wouldn't say where, WH, he would say where. And so that's like an example of just in a 48, 45-year-old age difference. You have a whole accent change. My mom's mom, who was born in 1910, had she would say a boot instead of about. And there were different ways that she had a Northern English accent because her mother came from Hull, England. So, and her father was Austrian, but Yeah, but I mean, I guess that's not doesn't illustrate time, but I guess yeah, you could. I mean, that's how like accents change whenever you have like influxes of population. So I need to uh, I need to make a map for that. When I tell this, yeah, but I need to make it like particular to the story. But also with these plugs, you I need to make like a generic, um, uh, template of a timeline for accent change. And yeah, I have not done that yet, but that'd be really cool. And then growth of trees. But that was for my timeline, where you have 500 years go across the whole screen, with 100 years being a fifth of the screen. Um, and but I'm trying to do it like every 50 days. Every day is 50 days, and so I have to like figure out the uh, evolution of time, different things that are faster. And so, yeah, I thought up in my show because when I tell the story, I'm doing it every day is another 10 years to get the founding of Latinium in 1185 BC up to the founding of Rome in 753 BC in 45 days. So that's 10 years each day. And so when I tell the story, I'm the same character, only the people in the story get older, 10 years. So that'd be fun. I've got like different like costumes to illustrate that, but I don't change. And so it's kind of like that show Twilight, where the vampires had to like move to a different town like every 5 years because some of their like three of their vampire clan were turned into vampires when they were still teenagers, so they looked like teenagers. And so plus they could like blend in, I guess, better as families. So because the teenagers weren't aging, they had to move. And so it's kind of like that, like only I'm not like holding yeah, I don't think I figured it out, but like what I do is like when I travel forward in time in the show is I would like sit down. Well, yeah, they have tombs, and that's where the idea of tombs came from. So I was like affiliated with the leader, so I had access to money. So I'd have my leader buddy. I'd be like, I have to take a beauty rest. Yeah, maybe I'll like fake try to age myself, and then tell him it's that's my aging. I need to go and take a beauty rest. Meet me in 10 years. And so I sit inside of the thing for 10 years, and then that's when I show the time passage of 10 years, like growth of people. I'll show the growth of different people, like 0 to 10, 10 to 20, of very different people, and also growth of trees. I guess yeah, growth of hedges on houses. I just figured that out, just in like different splotches, like with my face in the middle, like woo, like I'm just here, like suspended in time. And that's actually also I'm like figuring out in my head right now all these similarities that actually does have to Italy because they have their saints, their non-corruptible saints. It's kind of like that. So I go into the crypt, and so that's how I show that 10 years go by. And then I go out, and then I do my show, and that's everybody else is 10 years older. And it's like a day, I guess, in the life. Every 10 years I live a day or something. It's a sample. No, or I don't even have to make it that complicated. I just wanted to have come up with a way to show the time pass by in a little montage at the like the beginning of every show. But it would be, but yeah, it's not that fast. It's only like a few seconds. So I just make one that I paste at the beginning of all the videos. So, so you know what? Oh my God, I just thought about it. I should do hair. I could do it with wigs. I cut wigs to different lengths. I buy a whole bunch of a really long wig, and like a bunch of them. Oh my God, that could get expensive though. But I would like give it haircuts, like a half inch every wig. And so then in the show, I show how my hair grows out, for 50 days, how much your hair grows out in 50 days. I just came out with that now. I'm definitely going to do that. But also in 10 years, like how long your hair would get in 10 years. And so I'm like standing there then. I'm standing in the crypt and then my hair grows out, and then like how long beards grow out. So I'll do the same thing with the beard. I have a big white beard now, but or maybe I'll build something that looks like it. But yeah. But like things that grow in 50 days, like frogs, various different kinds of animals. Can't remember, but I'll do all of those things. And yeah, I should do like the pregnancy gestation of all this stuff. But in 50 days. But I wanted to try to show some like bigger when I'm doing the show. Show like some things, some passage of time examples that are appropriate for 50 days, but also for the 10 years. And so I came up with like a height change because Livy was talking about how, man, I can't remember his name. There was a leader of, oh man, I can't even remember where. So there was like a leader of like one of these Greek city-states, but it was around the time of like maybe the Trojan War, not that long before the Trojan War. I think he said it even. It was like 500 years or something. Yeah, he's like just in this 500 years. But there was a dude who was supposed to be 10.5 feet tall. And then he said, yeah, he said every generation in his time was shorter than the parents before. And that people, so I don't know, didn't get more specific than that, but he said there was a museum in Rome that housed a couple, Portia and Posia. I can't remember. Secundula and Portia. It's not Livy, it's Pliny who said that. And he also said there was a consul who was 2 feet tall, an 8-year-old kid who ran 80 miles, people who ran 100 miles, like they had like on the regular, like one of the sports that they had was 100-mile races in the Circus Maximus. But he said there was this couple who like commanded an army in Syria for Rome during the time of Augustus Caesar. So like just right before Pliny's time. And like, in like the teens, AD. And it was a couple, a man and a wife, who were like 9.5 feet tall. And then there was another guy they mentioned who was like 9 feet tall. So anyway, so just to help illustrate the passage of time, we're talking really slowly because I'm like really tired. To illustrate that. So I even made a chart with the help of ChatGPT. Like if they were as tall as that guy was, where he said like in the time of the Trojan War. So that means Aeneas was 10.5 feet tall. So that means you have to get shorter. And like why that was, I don't know. Maybe I'll say it was because they bred with the giants or something who were like aliens or something. I don't know. But yeah, that's at a rate of like because then by the time Livy's time was, I made him the average height of what Romans were, which was 5'6" for poor men, 5'7" for rich men, 5'3" for rich women, and 5'2" for poor women, or something like that. But so to get that 10.5 feet tall to 5'7" in 1,200 years. Wow, that's the same lifespan of Rome when from Romulus to the fall of Rome. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So Anyway, oh man, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, huh. So Aeneas to Livy was the same distance as time frame as from Romulus to the fall of Rome. So, um, uh, oh no, now my brain is like slowing down. Um, yeah, so that's like, so to get 10.5 feet to 5'7" in 1,200 years, 1,185 years, that was like a decrease of like, I can't remember, but it was a lot. It's like, it's like if you live 100 years, you would notice a decrease in height. And so that's just one metric that I came up with. Um, oh, and then I should do fashion because there's like timelines to fashion. Well, it's actually in Livy. They talk about the evolution of fashion and yeah, and in history. I'll try to study that, but I wanted to make like a template for when I do from Aeneas to Rome because we from Romulus because we don't have any data on that. So yeah, I wanted to figure that out. But then the every day is 50 days. Um, uh, yeah. But anyway, I need to if I'm gonna do this, I have to like not obviously be a perfectionist. Like it has to be super basic. And so yeah, it kind of reminds me of like South Park. Like South Park was just drawings of people with then their mouths going up and down to talk like Beavis and Butthead. Those drawings were real simple. So it's like, yeah, like when I'm talking, I'll just like film. But I have a room in there and I haven't done it yet. Oh man. I'm gonna garden it. I'm gonna ask see two people if they want to garden. And if I'm not gardening, I might be tired though. But I want to clean up this place. It's a total mess right now. And set up my green screen because in my studio back there in my main bedroom, I can cover every single wall with the green screen. So it's only green screen. Plug up both of the windows. And it goes all the way from the ceiling to the floor. And the floor is green screen because it's green, screen colored shaggy rug on the entire floor. Everything's painted green for green screen. And so I can act myself. Oh, and it's just loaded with lights. It's got like 25 lights or something. So I can act in there without any shadows or anything and feel brightness, and then just put whatever background from Envato that I already saved, so I can shop around easily. Yeah, just do that, and then figure out how to superimpose the bunches of me on, and that's all I have to do. Oh, and then yeah, and then now be able to incorporate my songs because I do have a lot of hummings, like songs, like actual songs, like really good songs with good melodies and beats, original beats. So, that's a huge advantage. I wanted to. Oh, wow, check it out. My Lizzie. Oh, he's going swimming. Hey, Lizzie. There you are. That's my Savannah monitor. I don't think I've ever seen him swim in this water. Yeah, I need to remember to put clean water in there. Luckily, it's clean there. See, look, he pooped. Man, I've been horrible. I've been like changing the water like once a month. I know, it's horrible. And like I changed it just like a week ago, and it was already filthy. And that's because when it's clean, he loves to just go in there and swim in it all the time. I see like wet marks of outlines of his body on his heat pad all the time, like from him like having recently jumped in the water and then sunbathed before going back in. The light died on that. The actual fixture, that's that. It's not focusing. Where is that? I guess it's pushing it out that way. Oh no, it's the one that's on the inside. Yeah, that one. You see that? Yeah, that died like the other day, and like an idiot for 2 days, I was letting it dark. I was gonna go buy another one, but then I realized that I had this one. It was hooked right there. Or no, I already knew I had it. I just couldn't figure out, know that I could just hang it in there. So I hung it in there, and I will string it around on the outside, like whenever I get around to it. But yeah, he's soaking again. But um, so I should do like incorporate in my timeline the evolution of the different animals that I have here because I have them here. Well, there's my bearded dragon, by the way, hanging out. I need to take him out more. He's like a boring bearded dragon. So people might think me creeped out by having all these animals here. Like, they might be like, your animals are like prisoners, you know? You shouldn't have these types of animals. Here's my frog. It's called like Terry's tree frog. Look at his eyes. Isn't that crazy? Frogs are trippy. And then I have another frog in there that I haven't seen. I saw him completely, pretty much almost under once, moving around. So I hope he didn't die under there. I've been throwing bugs in, and keeping water and keeping it moist. So, but he looked trippy. He was like all covered. It's like the fancy frog or Pac-Man frog, fancy Pac-Man frog. He was $35. This frog here was the Terry's tree frog was $20. But they're supposed to live like 13 years or something. Yeah, a lot of these animals are supposed to live a long time, so that's cool. Yeah, so, what was I talking about? Yeah, so, that's like a lot of stuff that I haven't, oh, you know what else I'm going to include in my timeline? Development of books. Edward Gibbon. I just came up with that right now. I'm going to incorporate the writing of Edward Gibbon, Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, because it's like the biggest book I can think of. It's 8,800 pages, and it took him 20 years. So it's like a generation, and then you just add the pages. You would like visually, with numbers, just add thousands, and so you just call it, you know, pages. And yeah. So I haven't figured all that out yet, but I think now, because now that the menus are easy to make, I'm going to start pasting those menus, and I think and I have them for all those books, but I think I'm only going to do the work at work. Take advantage of my job, because like for the last I think it was 3 nights in a row, because like it's Sunday. Oh my god, I need to get to sleep. It's Sunday at 9:30. I have to be at work tomorrow at 8, and I work until 4. And then I just said could do gardening. We'll see if she answers, but there's another lady. I'll see if she wants me to garden. But yeah, and I'm gonna have to ride my bike there, because there's like not parking at South. That's what somebody said. I think it was it was even the lady I was hanging out with last night said that. So I don't know if that means that I'm not allowed to park there, because every time I go there it seems like there's extra parking. But if I go there, that means I'm gonna have to ride my bike all the way to Eldorado Springs, but that's not far. Like, I'm an idiot if I don't want to ride that. I don't think my electric mountain bike would have enough range to get me all the way there and back, although that would be a fun thing to try, just to see. That's like range, like where I'm not pedaling at all. Treating it like a motorbike. But the problem is, I went into like when I came back, I went from work, I came over to the store to get worms for my lizards, because it's been a while. I didn't want them to get hungry, and yeah, I have to be like a responsible dad and go there all the time when I don't want to. But that's why I got all these animals, because it's literally across the street, you know, the lizard store and all that stuff. And I have all of these Tupperware for for the dubia roaches and the mealworms. So now that I have money, I can start spending all kinds of money. Now I have a job. I'm going to, and I keep, the only reason I didn't is because I didn't get around to it. I need to do it tomorrow, I guess, when I bring my computer. But order like a bunch of, like order a colony, actually. That's what I need to do. It was just, I was afraid to spend that much money. It was like $150 or something. But order a colony of dubia roaches, because they give it to you in perfect proportions, and I haven't done it that way yet, where you get like all of the ages and the proper, like the one, the king and queen or something, I don't know. But yeah, try to get a colony of those going. And same thing with the mealworms. I have a thing of that. Because then I could make it convenient to have all of these lizards, you know? Because you can feed dubia roaches to the frogs. Because as long as it's not, as the carapace is what it's called. It's the body of it. Oh, I forgot to give worms to my tarantula. God damn it. Keep forgetting about the tarantula. I could grab them. Maybe I could... Oh, yeah, I know I do. I have mealworms. Superworms that I have in the refrigerator still. I'm going to give those to the tarantula. But, yeah, I could, because I ordered, oh my God, for $85. It was the day I got, like, a couple days before they let me go. Because I thought I had a job at that point. I spent $85 to order a sand skink, a sandfish online, because I have that tank already ready to go. And that's actually for like hermit crabs that I want to get pretty soon. They're only $10 each. I guess you get two. That's 5 gallons, and then water frogs there. Then I get an axolotl for there. But yeah, but it never came. And I think they said at the store across the street that they could get one for they could order one online. So I'll ask them, because those things eat crickets too and dubia roaches, and so. But there's dubia roaches that are small enough for the frogs, because the frogs' eyes are, you know, they're ones that are smaller than the width of the eyes. And so, because when I ordered a bunch of them, like most of them were big, but there's like all different sizes. There's little ones too. So, and I fed a bunch. I fed 3 at once to my tarantula. And like I threw one in, I wanted to see it, and when I looked in, it was gone. It like already snarfed it up. So I was like, damn it, because I was like doing something. So I put another one in, and then when I looked at it, oh yeah, because I wanted to get my camera on it. I wanted to film it. And I actually do have the filming of the third one. But like by the time I put my foot there, it was gone. So it was like, it must have been hungry. But so I put the third one in, and I watched it came up, and it stung it, like jumping on a stung. And it looked like it was dead. Like it stung it dead, because they're venomous. And I guess the venom is to kill. And then it kind of hung there for a second, and then it went in, and it picked it up, and it was like nibbling on it. But it didn't inhale it. So, but then at that point, I thought I saw the legs moving. But yeah, so anyway, you know, if I have all of those dubia roaches and worms all the time that I'm growing myself, and I figure it out, and I get them like in bulk online, it doesn't necessarily have to be that much work or money to have like all these lizards. Savannah monitor, green anole, Bahamian anole, long-tailed lizard, bearded dragon. Yeah, and then on top of that, I have fish. 2 fish tanks with fish in it. I'm going to get 6 birds. I only have 2 now. Got the little, that little guy. The, guinea pig. They always have guinea pigs up for adoption. And then the 2, they gave me that thing for free, along with his cage. And then the 2 ferrets there snuggling. So, you know, I'm a really good pet parent to the ferrets, because they're always free. And I'm going to try to do the same thing for the guinea pig. Like, when the summer and I clean up the deck, throw the guinea pig out on the deck, and then the ferrets can be free, and the guinea pig can run around and be free, you know, in like his big cage. Because the ferrets, I can't trust them out there. Both of them have escaped, and I had to pick them up at the Humane Society. And I had to pay $850 the last time, just a few months ago, because they did cancer surgery on him. I mean, I'm glad they did. His ear had cancer. I should have fixed it earlier. So, but yeah, they both escaped, jumped off the deck. I'm on the 2nd floor. They fell like 20 feet or something. and there's rocks on that side. And they said this one, when they found him, he had a limp. But they were young. I mean, if they fall again, they'll die. Because they age fast. They only live 7 years. But, yeah, like if they get up on the air conditioner. So I just don't want to let him out there alone. You know, that's why I was thinking of another reason why I should put chicken wire out there. So the birds, I don't have to worry about the birds and have that open all the time and have those little rascals running out all the time. They'd be more entertained. But then if they can get up on the plants, they destroy the plants. I don't want that. Because, yeah, I have a bunch of plants out there now too, which looks cool. Because I didn't have them for like the last couple summers. But one summer they looked really good. But and I also have a pool out there. And I want to see if I can, maybe I can have my... throw my, maybe you think it's too cold though, because he's a warm-blooded animal. My Savannah monitor, who's a really good swimmer, into it. I did that once with my ferrets. They didn't like it, but I bought the pool for my animals. So, but I think that was when I had the tegu, but and the tortoise. Do you put those in water? So yeah, I want to do that with the. Maybe I can see. I could do it with the. Yeah, I was gonna do it with the tegu when it was more tame. You know, it could go in and out on his leisure. But maybe I can do that later with the Savannah monitor. But yeah, like I tried to say 2 other times, is that but I got sidetracked. Is that, and my batteries kept going, so I might have to stop talking because of that. But is that you know, some people might look at me and my animals and be like, "You're a dick," because I had a roommate who made me get rid of my Savannah monitor and my red-foot tortoise. So they were best of buddies. They hung out all the time in there. There was smoke all the time. It looked so cool. The laser lights went through the smoke. It was fucking so amazing. But he thought he was going to get salmonella. But then when I told him I did it, he was like, "Nobody should have those ever." And I think he was one of these people who was like philosophically against it. But people might think that it's cool to have these animals in here. But I'm going to do a video about it. But I mean, does this little guy look sad? It's like nature is rough, number one, and like there's lots of animals that live in the wild way worse than these guys. Like that's how extinctions happen, by animals having horrible lives and then dying. It's part of nature. But you know, the animals get used to it. You know, like that's a little long-tailed lizard in there, which is like tiny little thing. Like let's see if I can find it. This thing normally has a bigger cage. That cage above the refrigerator. Let's see if I can find that lizard. Huh. I can see I already went to bed. Okay, here you go. This is the Bahama. Where is that thing? Right? That's the Bahama Anole. Oops, excuse me. Thing's tiny, right? But that's a 20-gallon cage, and so he gets to run around. He hangs out on top here on the sun. He goes under his house. I mean, he's living his life. Where's my other animal? Yeah, look, there's the other animal in his house. It's not focusing. Oh, is it just focusing? That's pretty cool. Just hold it. Yeah, so there's the Bahama Anole. I think he's sleeping. So that's him in his house. Isn't that cute? So cute. So these are like my little buddies, right? And there's all the worms that he can eat. And, yeah. So, the cages are big to them. And so it trips me out, like a child, you know, like Fraggle Rock. I grew up watching that show where it was like the human, and then the Fraggles would run into the human's backyard and have to run away from his dog, which was like wasn't even a real dog. I think it was like a Muppet dog. But there were little Fraggles, and then there were the big monsters, the giants inside the cave where they were under the house. Man, I'm gonna watch. Then they had like a revival. I want to watch more Fraggle Rock, dude. I'm going to, like, grow mushrooms. Eat a bunch of mushrooms and watch Fraggle Rock. But I used to trip out about how the Fraggles were, like, different sizes from the giants in there and then the humans. And just looking at animals like people, you know? These are, like, my friends, my little buddies. And they look happy. I look into their eyes, and they're looking at content. And so it's all of us living together. in the jungle with my plants, and I have like the same density of wildlife as I would have if I was in the jungle, not like the middle of the jungle, but like, you know, more than a house in the jungle. I've got a freaking, it's like a savanna monitor right there, so, so, yeah, I don't think it's bad for the animals. I mean, humans and animals need to connect, right? So that's why I have all these animals in here, all these different life forms. And I'm a spiritual person. Maybe I can like spiritually feel the vibe changes just because of all the different types of life forms in here. And yeah, I do feel like it, a certain heaviness. And I actually, until now, I didn't make the connection. This is like my therapy. Like I don't talk to other people that much, just my mom. Well, now older people, but but uh, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like for the last few months, I've been like really like unmotivated and just wanting to sit here. And maybe it has something to do with all these animals. Like it's like the vibe is heavy. Like like you better treat them right. Slow down so you can be on top of them, of their care. And yeah, that's why I really want to plant all these plants around, like fill all those things, like with plants that'll last. Like my mom talked me into putting a bunch of plants. She planted them herself that we bought the other day, last week, in here, and they just died right away. And it wasn't because they didn't have enough. Like all those, she planted those, and I told them they died, and they died right away. And they died while they were wet. They were still wet, and they just died. So, and they are still alive outside. So there's just those plants, those $1 flowers. Can't remember what it's called, chrysanthemum or something. Just don't get enough light, even when you have all of these lights on, all day, every day. Like two. I should put both of those on. Those 8 more lights that I should do. When I get a bunch of more plants, I'm gonna have those on all the time. But like, you see what I mean? Like, it's like lights everywhere. It's like 25 lights or something, and it's still not enough light to keep those plants. But those ones, they do stay alive. So, and I can get different ones like those that are small. My mom actually got a bunch. I just haven't driven them over yet. So if those survive, I'm gonna go over and get the rest of those at Home Depot. And and then I would complete the vibe, jungle vibe, and then yeah, get the birds. And so yeah. Anyways, that's kind of I don't know, one reason why I haven't really been cleaning. I just been hanging out with the animals. Yeah, moisting their cages yet. I haven't gotten the time to because it's supposed to be like 80, 90 like humidity, but I haven't had the time yet to hook up the sprayer. I have a spray machine that like automatically on a timer sprays every so often in 2 cages, in my long-tailed lizard and my green nose cage. So I need to set that up whenever I get around to it. So yeah, I'm just yeah, I'm really looking forward to this job if they give me, because seems like that's what they're doing so far, and a lot of hours too. And I'll take these hours if I get them these, because I was talking to the girl who trained me, this African girl from Kenya. She's like, I don't like it when they just give me somebody to sit with forever. I get bored, and I'm like, really? Because that's exactly what I want. Because I can sit there and work on my computer, work on my website. So then I can like get through the overnights and some of the people who are like really old and don't want to hang out, and they're in a totally other room. And yeah, it's like, and even listen to audiobooks when I'm doing it. And then I would never have to work on the website when I'm not working. So I'm actually like making money, making my website, like, oh my God, and still making progress. But so that's why I want to, and I could quickly get these menus done. Like it wouldn't take that long. It's just cut and paste. So then the show, I want to get caught up with my life so I can do that show, the daily show, when I'm riding my bike all the time and doing that. Yeah, and then maybe make money with it one day. Yeah, so, but I still am planning on getting the CNA this fall, in the fall semester of Rocky Mountain, or Front Range Community College. Because then I can be a CNA at Brookdale. Like I'm already hired there. You know, just get be a CNA whenever they have opening, and yeah, you make more money. Yeah. So and then I can be the CNA for my mom. My mom has a $300,000 like insurance plan when she gets older to pay for CNAs to take care of her in her house. So then there you go again. I can get paid to hang out with my mom. So anyway, that's yeah. There's so much like in the planning, but you know I haven't built the website like on the timeline for all the generations and filling in the timeline to do the every 10 years and whatever basic storyline I'm going to do. So hopefully whenever I do that, I'll complete and, you know, come up with all the different ideas for the showing the passage of time. And I actually came up with a bunch of the ideas on this video. So that's cool. Implement that. So anyway, that's the next project I do after I put all these menus on, and I'll do it only at work. Yeah, but now they have so much time doing it. It's like I'll keep the ball moving forward on the website, which is exciting. So at this point, I'm actually happy that I'm changed courses, and I'm doing this now, but yeah, I'm gonna be in that gym too, whenever I'm not here, as much as I can. I think he's like enjoying himself watching me, because oh god, I feel so bad. Yeah, I need exercise. Like sitting down in the earth, I'm like, my god. Like I could only work 4 hours at a time doing that stuff. Like my back was hurting, man. So, and now my knee. I should have gotten surgery when I tore the shit out of my meniscus last year, but I think it's too late. And like the pain went away when I was writing a lot, so I think I can like heal it that way, and it'll like pressure me to exercise more. So, yeah. So that's my video log. See. I was kind of in the habit of uploading them, but I recorded two and then I never uploaded it for some reason. So maybe I'll do it tomorrow morning. I'll set my alarm for 6, but I'm not gonna hang out here anymore. I'm gonna jump in bed. I need to get to sleep, so that I can go all day tomorrow. And then I've canceled too many times on this lady. So if she says, "Yeah, come over," I'll be like, "I want to do that," and then I have to ride my bike there and back. So. I don't necessarily though. I might just jump in the car. Probably, yeah, maybe. The bike path goes all the way there, from here to there, doorstep to doorstep. So, I love it. So far, I've only done it with the electric bike because that was the first riding of that electric thing I've done so far. When I'm riding that thing around, I'm looking around like totally surprised that there's not more people doing it. Like not everybody. Everybody should be on those things because they have them on the range that'll get you to where I think most people are going anyway. And so they go like almost as fast, and like if you take the bike path and it's along the way, it's a nicer drive, way less traffic. You never have to stop because the tunnels is like a no-brainer. But I don't know if it's necessarily safer though. Like there's like 9 tunnels between here and this where I work down south. Hopefully I'll be doing most of my work right here at this building. But like I went through this one tunnel, you know, where it turned to the right as I went into it, and this fucking lady with a kid with like a baby in the back was like cut so damn freaking tight on that bitch. She was like all the way in my lane. Luckily, you know, it wasn't that much of a close call because I had anticipated it. I had like slowed way down and was like hugging the side of it on my electric bike. But yeah, like that with all those tunnels, like that could happen, you know. Every once in a while you could come across some person who like wouldn't even give you a chance. Like he's like full blown in your lane. So but yeah, and I need to like not pass people sometimes so fast. Sometimes I pass people when they're walking at like 21 miles an hour, and that feels like too fast because that's the speed limit of my electric bike. But I think it's just so trippy that the charge range of my electric mountain bike, which is out there, is compatible with with going to work and back, man. So it's pretty cool. And then I can go to work and back, and then I can do the other stuff throughout the day on that same charge. Like if I want to visit my mom, I go there and go to the store a couple times. But but yeah, I can't use it tomorrow because I got a flat. I went to the gym to get the membership, and when I stepped out the gym, it was like totally flat. So I must have hit a nail or something. So, and my other like jumping bike, slopestyle. Oh, there's my frog. Come on, frog. There you go. Um, got a flat too. So I need to do flat day where I fix the two flats in the bikes. But yeah, I got kind of depressed, like low motivation after I got laid off there for like a week when I didn't have a job. But now that I'm back on the saddle, I'm jazzed. I need to go in there, talk to HR tomorrow at 4. Oh man, not if I'm uh, yeah, I need to talk to them tomorrow to see if I can get my uh, PIN, access my email to get the PIN because that's where I get paid on until they do the direct deposit in like a month and a half. So, but yeah, so many hours. I'm gonna have a paycheck. It's gonna be cool. I was actually completely out of money. I had cash to put in there in these lawn jobs that I had, and I had zero money, so I ran out of money because I had just been into the store to buy something with my debit card today. So I'm gonna write a check to myself for my HELOC loan for like I guess $500 or maybe to take me until I get my paycheck. So then I'd have 14,000 left on it. So out of my $70,000, so I'm owe 56,000 now. So yeah, I got myself way in debt by setting up this house, and then I got taxed $1,600 for taxes. They fined me $1,600 extra for taxes for 2022 because when I pre-filed, I didn't do enough and it accrued. Oh my God, it pissed me off because they didn't tell me until they didn't give me any warning letters, and I have proof of it because it's on my account, on my IRS account. Until they just suddenly were like, "You owe 3,000, or else we're going to garnish your wages." And then I took a week to pay, and it already jacked up $30 in a week. I'm like, God damn it, motherfuckers! Why are you messing with me? If you're getting all rough, IRS, do with the rich people. So. Anyway, how did I start talking about that? I'm like deliriously like tired, I think. So, yeah, but yeah, because I was kind of thinking, because I knew last night I was gonna have to be up all day today, and then I knew that I didn't sleep the night before, right? Because this is how many hours it's been. Like, I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday because I worked on Friday, and so 6 o'clock in the morning on Saturday is 24 hours. 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday is 48 hours. It is currently like 10 o'clock. So add 12 hours to take it to 6 p.m. That's 56 hours. 12 hours to 48. That's 60 hours, right? So it was 60 hours, but that was 4 hours ago. So now we're at 64 hours. So, yeah, so I was like, how am I gonna, like, how alert, how awake am I gonna be after I'm up for 2 nights and then I'm up all night last night? Because the first night I wasn't really laying down. I was kind of fucking around on the computer, watching all the P Diddy videos. But then last night I was looking at my site a little bit, but I forgot to bring my mouse, and I was like, I don't want to work on this. I want to lie down and see if I can get rest, just experiment, see if it's okay. It's possible to stay awake all night, literally all night, because be totally alert to take a lady to the bathroom 3 times a night, or 4 or whatever. And like, I think she like expects me to like come in without even calling my name, because like, yeah, but I was like right there, without her even having to say. But yeah, so I can't be sleeping. And also I have to be out of her vision too. That's another thing I learned. But yeah, because I was stretching. That's one thing to do all night that I love to do. Stretch my hips. Yeah, you could work out. We're on the website. But I also wanted to like rest, like lay down and see if I could actually get rest. Like the same, like as if I was an insomniac. Because I'm really good at staying awake all night. Oh man, we're about to run out. Yeah, and anyway, I was a little bit groggy this morning, but I had coffee and I was okay. And look, as you can see now, I'm totally alert. I'm not even yawning after 64 hours. So, anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go have a shower, and I'm gonna have maybe some fruit juice, I don't know, and some cherries, and then turn off all my lights, yeah, and then lie down and set my alarm for 6. So I only get 8 hours of sleep, but that's enough. Hopefully, I won't have insomnia tonight because that could jack it up to 8 hours. I've been awake for 80 hours. No, I'm used to being awake for this long. I was awake for this long a bunch of times when I was working on the website because I'm not really exercising, but it makes me feel like, like aging, like my back was in pain. And I was thinking to myself today, I was like having that really nice dinner over there. Like, oh man, is my back so painful because age, lack of exercise generally, because I was doing all that yard work today, or because I've been up so long, you know? Maybe there's just some kind of combination, but boy, was I not comfortable in the back muscles. Anyways, that's enough time. Boy, I've been talking for a long time, but I talk forever when a lot of time's been by since I did the vlog. I don't think I'm going to upload it now. I'm going to upload it tomorrow morning. I'm going to get up really early and like try to fix up stuff where I go. Before my very first day, I got up at 6 and I was like cleaning up stuff a lot before I went to work, and I like that. So anyways, talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully.